The time that I got busted at work for making a video that I had posted on my ASMR and podcast channel. Let's talk about this topic that I spoke about a very, very long time ago, but I thought we sit back and relax, back to back, story time, throwback, flashback, whatever you want to call it, about me getting fired from my secondary job. So, 2021, graduated from high school, YouTube was doing very well to then, and I thought, you know what, I want to do something, chill out this year, focus on my YouTube, and then study in a few months. But in the meantime, I would like to gain some experience and knowledge in the real world. And I told myself and my parents, listen, I'm not trying to look for jobs that necessarily pay, because YouTube is doing well at the moment, money ain't an issue. So I had stumbled on the animal thing, basically the animal ambulance, and I went to them physically as well, and I said, listen, I would love to, work for you guys. I didn't have a license back then, and they said, we'll email you within 14 days. Never got the email. God knows why they never emailed me back. I think the biggest reason they either forgot or they were like, yeah, we can't be asked. Because the truth is, I was only, 18 or something at the time, 17 and a half. I didn't have a license. I had no knowledge. I'd asked them a lot of questions like, am I allowed to do this and this and that? And I was like, okay, I'm not allowed to do that if I work with them. But the guys were all 60, 70, like retired. And it was also like, it probably wasn't ever going to work. So then I was like, damn. Because the thing is, I was really optimistic. I wanted to work in an ambulance. But it's just like becoming a police officer. You're not allowed to become one unless you've got a valid driver's license as well, it makes kind of sense. So then I stumbled upon a seal sanctuary, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool and promising. I hit them up and say, listen, I just graduated from high school. Bear in mind, I had not told anyone at the time that I was a content creator. I was doing YouTube full time because I felt like it wasn't relevant, necessary at all to tell them. So they say, yeah, cool, you can come around. I had a day, and man, it was awesome because I had been to that place, I think once or in my life before, prior, but like years before that. And I took the job. Bear in mind, I didn't have a contract signed then because it was more a couple of tests, and then eventually I was going to sign a contract, but obviously shit came in between in a way of contract, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is and that. So they taught me a lot of good stuff, and I used to work on a Sunday from 7:45 to 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then I would get picked up by my parents because obviously I got no license, and it was a lot of fun. The first couple of times, it was harsh work. That's something I can definitely tell you, like, it's understatement because it was physically fucking intense and mentally as well. Because the thing is, these are not regular animals, these are wild animals. These aren't no pets, and that's the thing what people often think still nowadays. It's like, when I used to work at the place, I got taught a lot of stuff about seals I never knew because obviously we live in Zeeland. There's bound to be seals here. Now, if you ever see a seal on the beach, do never ever touch it. One, they're aggressive. They can bite. They can bite fucking nasty. Their teeth are very sharp. Two, if you touch a seal, especially a youngster, a pup, it can get kicked away from its parents. Because sometimes the case is seals intend to be lonely sometimes as well. They choose for lonely time, just like we humans. It doesn't occur very often or regular, but sometimes it happens in nature. Everyone needs a break. So whatever you do, never come near a seal. Never touch it, because the scent of human can kick it away from its parents. That's what I've been told. And if it's been alone for a longer time, call the seal thing and they'll pick it up and take care of him. And I've also seen the stuff behind the scenes, which is really sad. But anyways, we're going to talk about that just now. I got accepted for the job, and bear in mind, no contract was signed yet. It was volunteer work because I've told myself that there's no point in me doing work that's paid because I want to do work that involves animals and passion. And the facility wasn't very big. No, I still know what it looks like. It appears and looks big from outside, but really not. It's actually very easy work in a way of, when you work and you do stuff every time. But like every time I used to work, it was never the same. Different seals. What I enjoyed the most was definitely cleaning the places. What I did not like the most at all, what I disliked, was feeding them. Because those fuckers are aggressive, man. Like, a lot of them are aggressive because we had to sometimes use a towel in front of their face, and then, you have to, like, force feed them, which basically means you just gotta, with a tube or, put fish in their mouth. So, anyways, I thought it would be a very clever idea to make a video on the podcast on this channel and basically show people what I do for work. I had to do it very sneaky, very secret, because I never had told anyone at my job that I do YouTube for a living, and I felt like if I would have told them, they would have said no recording. So I was like, fuck it, who cares, right? And it was also like, no one's gonna get bothered about me recording a goddamn video because this is good publicity. I mean, I'm not saying nothing negative in my videos, so I wouldn't see the issue myself if I was, Anyways, The one night I had made an ASMR at my work, nearly got caught, and I was in the bathtub. It was around 5 o'clock at night. I was in the bathtub, and my dad messages me on WhatsApp, sends me a list of email. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. They they basically said I am no longer welcome. They found out about my channel. Someone, because that video got 51,000 views in the first day ASMR at my work. So obviously few comments within between would have said, oh yeah, I know what this is. Our contact is, this and that. So whoever did that, a massive fuck you, honestly. But at the other hand, you also somewhat did me a favor, because working with these people was absolutely horrible. Like, when I say horrible, words cannot describe how these people were. I'm not going to mention or comment anything on it, but if you've ever worked at a sanctuary, animal sanctuary, or volunteer work, you know these people are fucking horrible in general to work with. Yeah, basically the email said, we found out about your video channels. You're no longer welcome by this. We've done so much for you. And I'm like, you've done so much for me. Yeah, you've only moved me a day shift because the woman I was working with was a fucking bitch to me the whole time, was a Karen to me. Basically said that I was doing things wrong when I hadn't been taught that. That was also one of those things. When I made that video, I quit my job. What happened that day, or weeks within working, was I was working with a certain woman. I won't mention her name. I don't know if she still works there. I don't give a shit. But she was horrible. She was a fucking Karen. I'm not saying she's a racist, but the term Karen, basically just mean, someone's a bitch or a racist in this case. And she was a Karen in my opinion. She was horrible to me, rude to me, was not fun to work with. Basically said in my face, you might as well just not work here. And that's what she literally said to me. You're doing things wrong, so you might as well just not work here. And I'm thinking like, excuse me? Certain things that you are showing me right now, no one fucking taught me. So basically, this was one of the things that I did wrong. Add too much washing liquid to the tube. I'm like, nobody told me I had to stop until here. I didn't get told that. How am I supposed to know? And one of those things also, one of many things, but one of the things I can remember from that time is that in the kitchen. So basically you had, clean the dishes, foods, and that was my favorite part, cleaning. I loved cleaning. For some unknown reason, I really loved that, because it was time alone. I like to work independent and alone. I don't like working with people. Fuck people, man. And the tubes were the ones that you use for force feeding. For those who couldn't chew or had something wrong with their mouth, right? An infection or whatever. So she says eventually, have you cooked these? I said, sorry? Have I done what? You do know you have to cook these tubes, right? But like with a nasty ass tone, trying to intimidate me, I said, no, I've been doing this for a while now. Am I supposed to cook the tubes? Yes, you're supposed to cook the tubes. Like with a nasty tone, I'm like, chill the fuck out, lady. I'm new here. I've been here for 2 months. Nobody told me you have to cook the tubes in boiling water. What's up with the attitude? And that's one of the many reasons why, at the end of the day, I'm glad they fired me, basically. Well, they didn't really technically fire me because no contract was signed till then, but I'm no longer welcome there. Believe it or not, I am not welcome anymore there. Basically send an email, you are no longer welcome, you're never allowed to be welcome there. It's also like, man, I don't give a shit anyways, I don't live nearby you guys, but my experience was amazing working with animals. I feel like most people that watch this video and have worked with animals or volunteer can understand what I'm coming from. Like this whole concept of, work with us. No, there's a fucking reason why most people don't want to do volunteer, because A, it doesn't pay. B, you get treated like shit in most cases. And C, it's underappreciated what you do work-wise. Because I busted my ass off, even though it was only once a week. It was mentally and physically, bro. You're non-stop working. You know what I mean? Like with the SEALs, you cannot take a break. Obviously 5-10 minute break and then you continue, but my experience with the animals was something I never forget. And if it was up to me, man, I would, no, I would never want to work volunteer again. No, unfortunately not. A lot of legal things with volunteer does not include for you to protect you as a worker. But, no, it was a great experience. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, the animals were fantastic. You get to understand how they work. Very intelligent creatures. Like, you'd be surprised how very smart seals are. Beautiful creatures. Yes, during that time, I'd also learned the harsh way, like, some of them won't survive. Some of them can't survive. And that's sad to see, obviously. But that's the cycle of life, Shit, we're going to die one day. I'm going to die one day. And it's life. I can't do much about it. But to anyone watching this, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm going to let you tell the honest truth. Volunteer work can be fantastic. Just make sure that you know what you're doing is something you really want to do and that you're appreciated. It's not hard to say or tell someone, hey, you did a great job. Compliment someone once in a while is also nice. It makes them appreciate, like, hey, I'm at least being acknowledged here for what I'm doing work-wise. It's also one of the things I never got. Motherfuckers never complimented each other. It's not required, but it's nice when somebody pats you on the shoulder and say, hey, you did great today. It's, you get what I mean? Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this throwback story, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hey, peace out, man. By the way, I'm never gonna do volunteer work again. Shit is not worth my time.